I welcome all of you to today's webinar titled How to Become a Journalist with Any Educational Background. I am Yashi from My Captain, your moderator for the evening. And big thanks to all of you for taking out your time and being here today. We appreciate it a lot. Also, a huge thanks to the QFIS team for arranging an amazing webinar for us yet again. So we'll be running a live Q&A at the end of the webinar. So you can drop your questions in the chat box. No, actually drop your questions in the Q&A box and we'll take them. And don't you guys worry, we'll send around the recordings in the group whenever they're available. And well, today we have with us the state correspondent of the Indian Express, Aishwarya Mohanty. And here she is. Hi Aishwarya, can you see us, hear us?
Hello?
Yeah, hi Aishwarya. You should be able to switch on your video now.
Just 1 second.
Yeah.
Hi.
Great. Yeah. Just bring your laptop a little bit down. Oh, I think network issues. No?
Hello?
Yeah, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Great. So I'll hand over the speaking house to you now, Aishwarya. The evening is all yours.
Sure. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone, whoever is here. I'm Aishwarya Mohanty. I'm the state correspondent in Odisha for the Indian Express newspaper. I was earlier in Gujarat with the Indian Express itself in the Baroda bureau, and I've moved here recently. So basically, I'll be talking to you all about how to start a career in journalism. You can have a background, whatever backgrounds you all have. I don't know exactly what backgrounds you all have, but I'll give you an overview of, how to go about it, about what are the things that you should keep in mind. If there are, I just heard there was somebody who's already enrolled in a course in journalism. I guess it's a bachelor's program. So that student probably would know. I had a bachelor's in English, but I always wanted to get into journalism. So then I studied further. So the very first thing that we should as students know is that there are two kind of courses which are offered. Okay, when we talk about journalism courses, there's a course in mass communication, and then there are courses in the subjects which come under mass communication. Now, there probably are students who want to look at media as a whole. So for such students, the courses in mass communication offer, you learn everything from journalism to radio to photography to filmmaking to ad making, communications, developmental communications, everything. So mass communication is generally a 2-year program. It's a master's program. It's present in a lot of universities, central universities, government state universities. You can enter that course to understand better probably what you want to pursue further. Probably you know that you want to enter into journalism, but probably you want to explore the other fields which are in media. So you can enter into a mass communication course. But if you are very, very certain that you want to get into journalism, maybe TV or maybe print, so in that case, there are PG diploma courses, which are a 1-year program. Again, this is after bachelor's program. So if you are very, very certain about, that you have to pursue journalism only, like I was very sure that I wanted to pursue journalism only. So I did a PG diploma course in journalism. I also did a master's later in mass communication. But if you're very, very sure, then you go for a PG diploma course, right? Now, I guess all of you are in your bachelor's, but there are also entrances for both, for mass communication courses as well as for PG diploma courses. Now, to become a journalist, the best thing is to read as much as you can. When I was a student, I used to read 3 newspapers a day. And apart from reading a lot of GK and stuff and all of that, so that preparation in itself is a beautiful journey. I can assure you that, you feel knowledgeable at the end of the day. You feel that, you have taken in so much. So when you're preparing, start preparing from 6 months, start preparing from a year. not just for the entrance, but for the life to come ahead. As a journalist, it's always important that you know things, you can talk about things, you can write about things. So read books, read newspapers. Now everything is on the internet. So read, follow good blogs, follow good websites, follow good people on Twitter. Read their stuff, read articles, follow a person you like, follow a columnist you like, read whatever they write. Try to understand the kind of writing that they do, to understand, to develop that for yourself in the future. So that's how you prepare for the entrance examinations as well. Make notes from newspapers. It sounds a bit weird, but make notes. New words you're learning names of people, you're learning about places, you're learning about laws. A lot of things come in the newspapers. Read it diligently, like spend an hour every day. Read every word of it. Okay, that's very, very important. And in the 3 years itself, try finding internships. It's we don't get a lot of internships out there, as in you cannot just look for it, key possible internships on LinkedIn. A lot of people do write about it, but whichever city you are in, suppose you are like in Gujarat, you're in Ahmedabad, note down the media organizations which are present in Ahmedabad. Okay, now it's time, in the times of COVID, it's a bit difficult, but otherwise the ideal way is to go to these organizations, submit a resume, tell them that you are looking for an internship. They are always looking for interns. Okay, there are organizations which are always looking for interns, and they're really, really taking interns any time of the year. So it's not necessary ki summer break mein hi I'll go, or Diwali break mein hi I'll go. You can keep applying, just go there, submit your resume. The editors will look at it, and if they feel that you are a right candidate, they'll call you. So it's always from your end to try, especially when probably you do not know anybody in the field of journalism. Probably you do not know anybody out there. No, there's no background of journalism. So you're all out there all alone, So you have to try from your own end. So that's how you do it. And another thing to do is start writing letters to the editors. Like if you are looking for print journalism, even in magazines, in all newspapers, there's this column where the readers write letters to the editors. So make it a habit. Just start writing. That will help you develop your skills as a writer. And also you will know the nuances of how to write, what to write, and in which way to write. When that letter comes in the newspaper, probably you'll also understand, how it is taken by the editor and how it's given back to you. So that is also very good practice to indulge in. Apart from that, there are skills which are, I think, which are innate. The skills which we need to develop is the skill of reading news and following news, thoroughly, and not falling for fake news. So that is something that we should develop if we are aspiring to be a journalist. Rest, I guess, a lot of it is in you, and you can just polish it a bit when you go to journalism school or college, and that's how it's done. So I think that will be it.
Yeah. Let's take up a couple of questions from the mailies, and we have a lot of questions. Yeah. So Tanushka is asking, what is the difference between a master's course in mass communication and journalism?
Okay, so like I told you, mostly master's course is in mass communication itself. Like in mass communication, when you do a 2-year master's program, a master's program is always 2 years, right? So when you do a 2 years master's program, you will not only learn about journalism, but you'll also learn about TV production. You'll learn about filmmaking. You'll learn about radio, advertisements. You'll learn about theater. You'll learn about new media. So basically, when we talk about mass communication is a big umbrella, all right? So under that big umbrella, we have got everything. We've got from print to TV to radio to every bit of it, everything that helps you communicate with the masses, basically. So mass communication is an ideal course for a student who wants to explore other prospects as well in the field of media. Like suppose you're a bit confused, whether you want to do filmmaking or whether you want to do journalism. So when you enter a mass communication course, you get 2 years to explore your own self, along with, people from the field who will come and teach you. So when you get that 2 years to explore yourself, you will analyze and understand your own strengths and weaknesses. So probably you will kind of understand that, that you have a knack for photography probably, and you would want to go into photography, or you would want to become a photojournalist for that matter. So mass communication helps you that way, and it can be done after bachelor's in any stream, be it even if you're an engineer, commerce background, arts background, anything, you can do a master's course after that.
Okay.
Journalism courses, when we talk about a 1-year PG diploma in journalism courses, you learn about journalism. So like 1 year of PG diploma in print journalism teaches you everything, A to Z of what print journalism is about. 1 year, you have a 1-year course in radio, you have a 1-year course in TV journalism, you have a 1-year course in filmmaking. So these are different courses offered by different institutes like the IIMC or Xavier's. So these 1-year courses are like more like specialization courses. One other thing which you can do if like you want to devote your time into studies is you do a 2 years master's program. You understand where you want to go, like you want to do a journalism, you want to get into journalism or filmmaking, and then probably another 1 year of a specialized course to kind of develop your skills even further, so that when you're out in the industry, you know every bit of it that it takes to be there in the field and in the industry itself. So that's the major difference. Yeah.
Okay, that is very comprehensive, and thank you for the answer, Aishwarya. So the next question that we have from Tanushka again is, I write quite a bit, but I know genre writing and journalistic writing are very different. So could you please elaborate on the difference?
Yeah. So see, writing again, a piece that you write on a blog, which might have your opinion, which might have a lot of things, is very different. Probably that's what you mean when you say general writing. Journalistic writing is rather to the point, okay? When you hold a newspaper, we have space constraints. We know that this is the space where we need to fit in everything, and that everything should have all the details. It should not be going haywire saying, this happened, that happened. You always have to maintain the W's and the H, who, where, what, why, when, how. So after that, you come to the body, you talk about a bit of a history, you talk about what's more in it for the readers to know, which is very newsy. Newsy means it's current, it's about what has happened right now. If you're writing supposedly about a blast, so you write about where the blast happened, how it happened. It has to be very to the point and very informative about that particular thing. You then do a follow-up story. But when you write a general writing, you can be talking about n number of things in a general writing. But journalistic writing is very to the point and very informative for the reader, where they can know exactly what has happened, how it has happened, and what ahead. The best thing about journalistic writing is, so what? There's always this question, so what?
Right.
Ye hua to kya? So if you're able to answer that so what, your writing is really good. And that's a skill that should be developed also as a journalist, is what I believe.
Right. Okay. So we have another question by an anonymous attendee, and they're asking, can you throw some light on investigative journalism? Also, which colleges are good for masters in India? Is M recognized here?
Okay. Investigative journalism is, it's a very different and a niche beat in journalism, where I feel that, the best of the journalists go. You devote a lot of time to understand a thing. When we do routine copies, Suppose, like recently there was this fire in a hospital in Ahmedabad. There was a fire even in a COVID hospital in Andhra Pradesh. So a simple writing would be that we just find out, these many people were hurt, injured, or these many people died, what happened, what not. Investigative journalism in that case would be to know what has happened behind, to get into the technicalities of the entire thing, to understand, why it happened in a COVID hospital when precautions should have been taken even more. So you need to go beyond the simple writing to investigate this particular thing, to understand, what is it that the normal layman won't see. As a journalist, when you can find that, you're actually investigating the case, because otherwise every person standing there probably outside the hospital who's also taking videos, they would know from people that these many people died, the fire tenders were here, these many fire tenders were here, this was happening, that was happening. But as a journalist, it's our responsibility, it's our duty to go beyond that and to find out, why it happened. Like I said, so what? So we need to look into that. And that's how we develop that knack for investigative journalism. And we have a lot of investigative journalists, and you should follow a few. And there's this international investigative journalism forum. You should also follow that to understand and know the kind of investigative journalism that's going on. And reading a lot of investigative journalistic pieces will also help you understand how you develop the knack for it. And the second question was regarding colleges, institutes, masters.
Masters institutes in India.
Masters institutes are a lot. Could you just ask the attendee from which state he or she is from?
Yeah, if you could rewrite the question again in the Q&A box with the state. Maybe after that, we'll be able to give a specific answer. So the third part of this question is MMM recognized here in India?
That I have no clue about.
Okay. So let's move to the next question. Tanushka is asking, I really want to pursue a master's in journalism ahead. So how can I go about preparing for entrance exams?
Yeah, so I'm assuming you still have a year or so to go for your master's, I guess. So like I said earlier, start reading as much as you can. Read newspapers, read at least 2 newspapers, okay? Read a national paper, read a business paper. Business paper, you can read Economic Times, you can read the Mint. So develop that habit of reading. It's very important. Now, when you read as a student who wants to pursue journalism or wants to get into a master's course next, it's important you make notes. You just don't read it, you kind of study the newspaper. Every article that you read, you find a new name, you make a note of it. You find you find a new word which you don't know, you make a note of it. You find that a law is mentioned, an act is mentioned, whatever is mentioned in that particular piece. Trust me, from one article itself, there'll be so much that you will know. You'll feel like, I didn't know all of this. So it's important that you read every bit of it. You study it like you study your notes from college. And every page, you don't leave any page. City pages generally you can skip, that's not important, but you read every other page. You read editorial to understand the edits. And when you read the editorial, after reading the editorial, probably you must have developed an opinion in your mind. So sit down and write about it. Keep a notebook, write down about it. If there are major issues, like there's this Indochina issue or whatever major issue is going on, write one paragraph every day about what you have read about it, okay? Because in the entrance examination, apart from MCQ questions, you also get these long answer questions. And it's important to know a lot of facts when you're writing such questions to make your answers, padded with facts and stuff so that you get marked for it accordingly. So start reading, start writing. And the basic structure of like all the entrances that I also appeared for, the basic structures are always the same. You have a lot of MCQ questions, which is like everything under the sun. So history, geography, everything. So get a book, like we used to read the Manorama yearbook for that. So which is good, I would recommend. So read the Manorama yearbook. You'll also get everything that has happened in the year. Then reading and writing from the newspaper, like what I said, that will help you answer the long type questions. English grammar also comes in a lot of entrance examinations that can be done. And then you have personal interviews and group discussions. Personal interviews is something that depends on you entirely, how you handle. Again, for the group discussions, it is important that you know a lot of facts to rebuttal at a point or to, put forth your point. It's important that even if you're making one point in a group discussion, it should be so strong that the people present, they just take note of it, that you have made this point. Probably you don't say anything else in the group discussion, but that one point should be strong enough. And that one point can be strong enough when you have facts to back whatever you're saying. Whenever you're making a statement, always have facts to back it up. And yeah, that's read newspapers and make notes. I mean, that's it. Yes.
Okay. So Muskan is asking, which college did you do PG diploma from?
I did my post-graduation in broadcast journalism from Xavier's Institute of Communications.
Okay, okay, interesting. So next question again by Muskan is, do I need to do another specific course after mass communication?
So could you ask Muskan, like, what is she doing right now, and is she interested in pursuing journalism itself?
Yeah, Muskan, drop this information in the Q&A box and then we'll get back to you. So Ananta is asking that she has an internship in content writing. Is it considered to be very different from having an internship in journalism?
Yes, content writing is very different from journalism, though I'll tell you this, that when we study mass communication and we move out of the colleges, a lot of people who want to become journalists get into content writing because basically they want to write. But yes,
Right.
journalistic writing is very different. Journalistic writing needs you to be on the field, making notes while on the field, talking to people, interacting with a lot of people. So these two are very different. But content writing can help you pursue features writing in the future. Features writing is something which has a shelf life. Like, you write about a topic which is not probably current, which can be used in the paper or a magazine tomorrow. Mostly magazines, when magazines write these longish articles, those are feature writings. So a content writing internship is good. Internships are the best, actually. You should always take up internships, paid or not, but take up internships wherever you get a chance to, because that will help you know the industry from a very close point of view. You get to know the industry from within. You get to understand how things are, which probably you won't understand very much while you're in college. So
Right.
internships are important, and while you're doing a content writing internship, it is all, of course, helping you develop your writing skills. So this is an added advantage, so there's no issue in it. But yes, journalistic writing is a bit different, and journalistic internship will be different from what you're probably doing right now.
Okay, okay. So Harshita is asking, if you don't get into bachelor's in journalism, do you miss out on a lot?
No. So basically, I am of this opinion. I won't say for everybody, but if you want to pursue journalism, if you have a background of, say, science, or if you have a background of, say, psychology, political science, economics, history, or any other, even engineering for that matter, or medical, after that, when
Mm-hmm.
you get into journalism, there's an area that you know a lot about because you've studied it
Right.
for 3 years in bachelor's, right? So now
Mm-hmm.
in journalism, I guess you all must know there are beats. There is a political beat, there is business is a different
Right.
beat, crime is a different beat.
Mhm.
So there are different beats, environment is a different beat. Now, if you already have the understanding of a particular beat, for 3 years you've studied
Right.
that, so this is like the
Mhm.
best added advantage. And if
Okay.
you have any background, if you're from any background, after that you can pursue a course in mass communication or a PG diploma course in journalism. It is
Mm-hmm.
open to people from all backgrounds. There's no criteria whatsoever. But the fact that you've studied something else will only add to it, and you're not missing out on a lot, so don't worry. Yeah.
So all the while we were worrying about that we haven't done any degree in journalism and we won't be able to cope without the degree. But actually,
Yeah, bachelor's, I believe it's okay. I mean, after that, you
Mhm.
should pursue a master's or a PG diploma course in journalism, probably to understand,
Right,
to
right.
understand it a bit better before you actually move into the industry. Otherwise, you'll be like, what's happening? So just to get an idea of what it is. But if you've done a bachelor's in any course, it's not a problem at all.
Wow,
You're not missing out on anything.
that's a good news. Okay, so an anonymous attendee is asking, do you think journalism will not exist in the near future due to all the digital influences?
No, so journalism is going to exist whatsoever. We are going to exist. There's always this debate about what form of media will survive,
Right.
print or TV. But I think it's too soon. I still, I still find it really nice when I hold the newspaper in the morning. I still cannot read it on the digital platform. Definitely, everything is going digital. Everything is on the web. When it's COVID times now, we feel that it has become fast paced even more, that now the
Right.
digital platform will get a push. But to say that journalism won't exist is I don't think it's correct. I don't think it's right.
Okay, okay. So how many hours does it take for you to read three newspapers a day?
So yeah, I used to spend a lot of time when I was doing my bachelor's. I was doing my bachelor's in English, and had spent a year preparing. So I used to sit in the morning. I used to give
Mhm.
myself 2 hours every day. Now what happens is there are times when there's the same article in all the newspapers also. So you don't have to
Okay,
read that article again and again because you already know that this is there. But read the editorials first, okay? Pick one
okay.
pick one newspaper, read it thoroughly, go to the next, read the editorials first, and then skim through the newspaper to see what are the news items which probably were not here, in the first newspaper which you've read. That's why I have
Mhm.
a variety. Like, go for one local newspaper, go for one national, go for one business. So you will know a lot of things when you read this, the variety of newspapers. Another thing that I did was, there was a time when I would devote um, 3 months to one newspaper to understand the kind of writing that they do. So even this can be practiced, but if you just have 1 year to prepare for mass communication, I would suggest that you go with reading three newspapers. Whatever time you can give, it's
Mhm.
okay. Read those newspapers, try to understand as much as you can, grasp it, make notes of it so that you can revise it whenever it comes, because these are the current affairs which they'll ask you in the entrance
Right,
examinations as
right.
well. So yes.
Okay. So the next question is, how can I pursue anchoring or news correspondence, and what is the first step?
Okay. Even for broadcast journalism, there are a lot of institutes.
Mhm.
So one thing is, every news channel itself has an institute now. Like NDTV has one.
Okay.
There are other news channels which have their own. Times has its own. So India Today has its own. So they have their own institutes where they focus a lot on you know broadcast journalism, like anchoring you're talking about. There are courses which are offered for anchoring by these news channels itself. Most of these institutes are in Delhi, but
Okay.
you can apply for them, and if you get through, you will get an hands-on experience of how it is done, how different anchoring is to be reading it out, to be reading news in front of the camera and everything. And after that, they'll also provide you internships. I guess a lot of institutes do that because since
Okay.
they are associated with a news channel already, they
Right.
also provide you with internships. So if you're good enough, there's always a chance that they'll hire you immediately after that. So
Mhm.
that's how it should be done. And you should look for specific courses in TV journalism. There are a lot of specific courses in TV journalism per se, which is completely focused on anchoring and news correspondence. So you can go for that. Yes.
Okay. Okay. We have a next very interesting question coming up. So Muskan is asking, she's currently pursuing MBBS and she's inclined towards journalism and she wants to explore it too. But she cannot afford to study for 3 more years after already studying for 5.5 years. So how should she go about it, and how should she know that this is what she should be doing?
So Muskan, my parents always wanted me to be a doctor, but I never wanted to, and they always told me that you can pursue MBBS and then you can get into journalism. I could never crack that because I could never understand how the exact same thing, that how after giving 5 years into studying medical, how do I pursue journalism after that? But the fact that you have a medical background, I guess, I don't know how many years are left for you to complete your course, but after that, I think you can opt for a 1 year PG diploma course. No need to give 3 years. Directly opt for a 1 year PG diploma course in journalism. You spend, it's not even exactly 1 year, I'll tell you, it's around 9 months, and then inclusive of internships and everything, it is a year. The fact that you have a background in medical will help you select a beat which is very prominent now, which is the health beat. In the times of COVID and even ahead, it's always going to remain prominent. So you
Mm-hmm.
can pursue a career in journalism. Take you can have your own beat, which is the health beat, and your background in medical, your MBBS ka 5 years ka 5 years ka study will help you a lot aage chal ke. So
Okay.
instead of, I mean, don't go for a 3 year ka thing, don't go for a mass communication plus PG, just go for a direct PG diploma. You can apply for those courses, you can give the entrance examinations, but yes, prepare for your end, keep yourself prepared, and just look up for colleges and apply for them.
Okay, okay. I hope that answers your question, Muskan. Um, so the next question is, Tanushka is asking, would pursuing a master's in journalism abroad be beneficial for returning to work in India, or would pursuing the master's in India would be better?
So this again differs, okay? A lot of my friends also went abroad and they have pursued courses, filmmaking courses and journalism courses from New Zealand and US.
Mhm.
And you can always come back and find a career here. There's no problem at all. You can find good job opportunities even abroad, okay? People do find job opportunities abroad and settle down there as well.
Mhm.
Uh, like a lot of my friends, like even I, we chose to stay here because we wanted to understand the Indian politics well. We wanted to understand how ground reporting in India is like, you know. I always have this inclination towards rural reporting, like going to the villages and reporting how the rural scenario in India is. So I thought that it's better to stay back here so that even if I get an internship, I look for internships, I look for the stories that I do for a the college newspaper as well. I can explore it here to understand if I fit in well, you know, to go out on the field and report, to understand that, you know, once I'm out on the field as a journalist, probably 2 years after completing the course, I can do it by myself. So that was one thing. But of course, you can go out, you can pursue a course there. There are good courses, and you can come back and find a decent job here. You can land a good job here. There's no issue at all.
Okay, okay. So another question is, are private colleges better for masters in journalism?
Uh, I guess master's program is more or less the same. There are a lot of things. The only advice that I have always given to, you know, my juniors in college has been that if you're pursuing a master's program, maybe pursue it from capital cities, maybe pursue it from places where there's a lot of media presence. Like
Mhm.
the first thing that comes to your mind is Mumbai, Delhi.
Right.
Then even in states, you go for places where there are a lot of media organizations. Why?
Mhm.
Because you get 2 summer breaks. No, you'll get 1 summer break. You'll get a Diwali break probably. You will get a lot of time in between where you can explore internships. And when you're in the same city, there's always a chance, when there's a lot of media organizations present in the same city where you're pursuing a course, you can also do an internship while studying. So when you're doing an
Okay.
internship, it gives you a lot of edge, you know. It tells you how the industry is from a very close front. So that is very important apart from what you're studying in the university or a college. So private private or not private is fine. That's not a problem. More or less everybody's going to teach you the same things. The
Mhm.
method might be different, the people who are coming to teach you will be different. But choose your city wisely. If like, yeah, basically go out to capital cities, go out to Delhi, Mumbai, look for colleges there where you can know that, you know, there are so many journalists out there. You can go and meet them, you can talk to them and do a lot of internships and field work while you are studying. So that's a very much of an added advantage.
Okay. Okay. So Archana is from Kerala, and she wants to know about the good universities in India for doing masters in journalism and their admission criteria.
Okay. So almost all the central universities in India offer a journalism mass communication courses. You can look them up. They are really good. Then Jamia Millia Islamia is one of the finest
Mm-hmm.
in Delhi. So you can go there. I did my master's from MS University, Vadodara. That is also a
Okay.
good college. It has been here for the last 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
So you can try that too. I specifically do not know about Central University of Hyderabad also has it. Osmania University is in Hyderabad. Even their course in masters is pretty good. Jadavpur University in Kolkata has a good master's program. And almost all state colleges, you know, the government colleges of every state has their own master's course in journalism, which you can pursue. Criteria for almost all of
Mm-hmm.
them, be it mass communication or a 1 year PG diploma, is the same, that you have a bachelor's degree in whichever background. The percentage may vary, like somebody would be like, you have scored 50% in your bachelor's or 60, whatever, that is it. Apart from that, the main is the entrance examinations, personal interview, and the group discussions, which is kind of similar in all the colleges. I used to look up a lot of colleges. So the EG diploma courses, even the mass communication courses. So basically, be prepared for the entrance examinations. Once you're through with the entrance examinations, they generally go for the group discussions. And once you're through with the group discussions, there's a personal interview and the final list is out after that. So for the group discussion as well as for the entrance examination, the preparation is more or less similar as I've already discussed. And personal interviewers, completely up to you what kind of questions they ask. They can ask you any kind of current affairs. So just be prepared. That's it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So you just said that studying journalism as a course is different from what you face practically in the industry. So Vaishali would like to know more about this statement.
Sure. So when you go in a college, like even for mass communication courses, you have to appear for examinations, you have to, have projects and stuff. So there's a lot of theory involved as well, which is important. But when you go out on the field to report, it's a lot different, okay? And only an internship, only going out on the field can teach you what it takes. You might write a report in a college. They'll ask you to write a report. You'll write a report. You're making a manual or a journal, a college newsletter, and you're writing a copy. But when out in the field, you have to know everything. You have to write down, and it's not easy. Like you go out there, flood situations. You're going out in the flood situations, and you have to keep yourself safe. You have to send the copy. There's a deadline. You have to send it by then because the editor has to edit it and fix it on the newspaper. So all of these are the things which you learn when you're on the field. Like in our college, the broadcast journalism course was good, but again, it's different when you go out on the field and you're a news correspondent. When I did my master's also, it was almost a 3 months training of print journalism. There was a lot of theory. We used to do weekly articles also. But when I came out on the field, I realized that there's a lot more that I need to know,
Right.
Apart from how to write it, you need to know what do we need to write it in the news, So probably just once go out on the field just like that, when you know something is happening, just go out and write. If you know somebody who has a journalistic background or who's a journalist in your family, probably send that small article to him or her. Ask them to, just see how it is, what it is. Probably you'll get to know even that way, what you need, what extra do you need. So on the field, it's very different. On the field, it's deadline. It's also, there's somebody crying and you have to ask them, you have to get some details, you have to talk to people who are probably not cooperative, you have to talk to bureaucrats, you have to talk to police officials, you have to talk to authorities. They're also busy, but you need answers. So it's very different that way, and that is something that won't be told to you in college probably. So yeah.
So this anonymous attendee wants to know the daily schedule of a journalist. So how does your day look like?
Okay. So it varies actually. It's more like you have to be wherever the news is. Here also, I'm just completely, my phone is near me, anytime I could get a call. So I'm just hoping that I don't. So the day starts with reading newspapers and knowing what's happening around. And I cannot tell you how the day is, because there were times when at 12 in the night, it was decided that I have to go for a story and I had to leave at 3 a.m. in the morning, and I had just had to go. And, you cannot say that you cannot go and I have this in the morning, I have to go for my yoga class. You don't have a schedule basically. Whenever, wherever, whatever happens, you have to be there as a news correspondent, and that's our first priority. So there were times when initially it's a little difficult to even balance a lot of things, but eventually it happens. So yeah, no schedule at all. I tried making a schedule, but it didn't work, so no.
Okay. So Sonali is asking, this year IIMC is not conducting examinations, and they're also talking about taking classes online for complete one semester. So how important it is to be in campus, and is it really worth it if we actually complete our course while we're in our homes?
So it'll be difficult for me to comment on this for the very fact that I never had this chance to, attend online classes. This is something very new. Like we talk about schools and the concept is a little bizarre, but the fact that we do not have an option right now, so this is happening. Uh, if you get a chance to intern somewhere, if you have got good people coming and talking to you about, good people from the field coming and talking to you about their respective fields, even if it's on the web, and you have a chance to interact with them, even if it's through, the online medium, I think it'll work. So shouldn't be a problem, because those who are going to take online classes also have something in mind for you people,
Right.
because they know that you people are the future journalists and future media persons. So I guess they'll also tweak their curriculum and the way they'll be taking it ahead with you all guys. So it's more like, let's see how it goes, kind of. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So another anonymous attendee is asking, how do we develop our communication skills, especially when you are shy?
Okay. So especially when you're shy. All right. So if you are interested in print journalism, you can always read and write. And if you want to get into broadcast journalism, it's important that first you start talking probably in front of the mirror. I used to do that a lot.
Okay.
I used to participate in a lot of debates and public speaking contests and stuff. I used to go there just to attend, even to understand how people are talking, because communication is the key. Okay, you have to get answers from people. As a journalist, you have to talk to people. It's just very important. So
Right.
the basic is, just start doing it, start interacting with people. If you think you need to develop your public speaking skills, then you go and start attending seminars. You go and start, even in seminars, start raising questions. You have a question, ask it. That is the way you
Okay.
develop that confidence in yourself. Even if in your college, if you have college fests and there are competitions about public speaking and stuff, start attending them, start participating in them. That's how that fear in you will just go away, and it'll help you communicate well in a better way. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So our next question is the entrance profession for mass communication different from that of journalism?
No. So it's pretty much pretty much the same. It goes for all. And reading newspapers, knowing about all the current affairs. So it's not just political news or these news. You should know about sports, all kind of sports. You should know about movies, the movies which have come. You should know about the national awards. You should know about all kind of awards which have happened. You should know about film festivals. You should know about any important movie that has come out, any controversy that has happened, prominently. When we were appearing, there was the censor board controversy. I don't remember, but that question was there in all the entrances that I appeared for. It was like a common thing everywhere. So you should always keep an eye on what is the major issue that is going on, be it in films or be it in politics or anything, even world affairs, sports, anything. So just know what's going on and make a note of it, that this is happening, and should always have the keynotes, like why it happened, what happened, so that whenever you are, the last moment, you're just running through your notes, you just know that yes, this has happened. So when you have to write down a long answer, you have to pick up these points. These are the facts that you have to write, and you just go about it.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. So we have actually two similar questions in the same concept, and these two mentees are pursuing graduation from engineering, like they're doing engineering, and
Mhm.
they are interested in becoming film journalists. So
Okay.
can they choose journalism? Will they face any discrimination in placement as they are from engineering background?
Not at all. Not at all. So, journalism, students in journalism, I'll tell you that we always have a very diverse population. Okay, when you will enter into a college, you'll understand that everybody has come from a different background. Like most of them have come from very diverse backgrounds. It's important that how you utilize that 1 year of a PG diploma course or 2 years of mass communication, how you develop that skill of being a journalist in yourself. Because like for 4 years you've studied engineering, you have you're the science background chap, 12th, may you've done physics, chemistry, maths. Now, journalism probably would be very different for you, but utilize that 2 years completely. Understand, read a lot of, if you want to become film journalist, read a lot of film reviews probably. Look at good film journalists, look at good film critics, understand the way they write, understand the way they talk when they take interviews. And that's how you'll develop the skills. And once you develop that skills, you'll also have mentors around, you'll have good teachers around to tell you how to do it, what to do. So that will help you a lot. And there won't be any kind of discrimination. You shouldn't worry about any kind of discrimination. At the end of the day, you should be good enough for a company to hire you. That's it. So I don't think, because journalism courses take people from all kind of backgrounds, so there's no question of discrimination at all during placements.
Okay. So next question is, I am going to pursue journalism after 10 years of completely different background. What are the preparations that I can do? And is it going to be difficult than usual? More difficult than usual?
No, it won't be. It won't be difficult at all. Whatever you have pursued will only help you later on. Trust me on that. And the preparations I've already told you about. If you want to appear for the entrance examinations, start reading, start writing. And if you want to be a TV journalism, you should have the public speaking. You should be confident when you speak, when you talk. So these are the basic skills. And there's no separate preparation as such. The basic is that you should know the current affairs, because as journalists, that's what we do. And we should also know of what has happened in the last 10-15 years and the major chunk of history, the Indian history or the world history. Know politics and just know what's happening around, so that you can write about it. Whatever background you're from, you can always have an opinion on things. You can always know what's going on, right? So just know the facts, right? And prepare well, read newspapers, watch news, and study. That's it.
Okay. So Paridi is asking that she wants to become a full-time writer. So is journalism a good starting option?
Full-time writer as in she wants to get into general writing, content writing?
Yeah.
I hope, yeah, I'm guessing. Okay. Yeah. So you can actually pursue a course in mass communication if you're looking for general writing, because that will give you an idea about a lot of different kinds of writing, right? You will get an idea about writing for the radio, you will get an idea about writing for television, you will get an idea about writing for the digital platform, the print platform. So mass communication will help you understand, mass communication courses have a specific segment on creative writing and general writing as well. But if you get into a course specifically for journalism, which I talked about, like a PG diploma course in journalism, it will be very much journalistic writing. It will be very much about journalism itself. So if you want to explore different kinds of writing, if you want to explore lot more than just journalistic writing, I would suggest that you take up a course in mass communication, a master's course that will help you understand the different kinds of writing even more, and then you can choose for yourself. Yeah.
Okay. So the next question is, I am an agriculture student. So what are the basic steps that you would suggest me to take to get into photojournalism? Is there any chance that I can develop these skills while doing graduation?
So you're pursuing a course in agriculture. Now, like earlier we used to have you need a high-end camera, but now even phones for that matter are, you have good high-end phones to use. As a photojournalist, the first thing to understand if you want to pursue it, how you want to pursue it, on your day off, probably just go out. Now I shouldn't say go out, but whenever you can, you should go out, take photographs, and try to understand the story behind a photograph. Just don't click for the sake of clicking it. A good photojournalist is the one who can also narrate a story through a photo. So whenever you take a photo, try to understand what's the story behind it. Try to explain it to the audience what's the story behind it. Now you also have a lot of platforms like Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, where you can post those photographs, where you can write what story you feel is behind it. So you can do all of this. Meanwhile, there are also courses in photography which you can take to understand photography well. Photography in itself is very nuanced and it's very, very interesting. So even a course in mass communication has an entire semester, I guess, dedicated to photography. A lot of courses have that. So probably you can explore that. You can do a 2-year mass communication course if you want to, or you can do a photography course, just a photography course to understand photography. And then journalistic photography, like photojournalism, if you're talking about, then you should understand that when you're taking a picture, what is your picture saying? Why the audience should watch it? Why should an audience see the photograph? Recently, like there was this photograph in Mumbai Mirror about this vegetable vendor. And this vegetable vendor had opened his shop after 4 months, and it started raining heavily, and he had to close down his shop. He was sitting on the side of the road and he was crying. This was the photograph. It was just a simple photograph. He was crying, but there was this whole story behind it, and such a beautiful story. Help poured in for that guy, and people came in and donated in lakhs for him so that he could revive whatever he had lost. So this is what you look for when you want to pursue photojournalism. There should always be a story behind what you are clicking. It's not just you just click it. So that's how. So probably go out with your camera, your phone, start taking photos, try understanding what you want to say through that photo. So probably that will help you develop that skill. Yes.
Okay. And we have a very interesting question this one. Do looks matter a lot in broadcast journalism, or is it only about your skills?
Just be good, know what you're doing. I always had this question in mind. I still don't have an answer, but I would say that, a good journalist is one who understands what he or she is doing. And a good journalism in itself is very empowering. And, it's not just for the sake of saying, but you actually can bring about a lot of change if you are a good journalism, if you're doing good journalism. So, looks and all, you've got an entire makeup team behind you doing it for you. So don't at all bother about it. Just be a good journalist. I guess at the end of the day, for a journalist, that should matter the most.
Okay. So our next question is, what is it like to be working at the Indian Express? How's the work culture?
Right. So I had always loved this newspaper, and as a reader, I had always loved this newspaper and wanted to work with the Indian Express someday. And I got a chance to work with it, so I was like, yeah, this is it. And editorially, I mean, it's a fantastic experience. We do a lot of field work, which is why I think that the news comes out well. And you should read the paper to understand the kind of journalism we do. I guess as readers, you'll understand why, as an employee, I would like the newspaper more than any other newspaper. So yeah, it's really nice.
Okay. So how effective are remote internships in collecting news in comparison with the reporting one, especially in the present scenario?
Could you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, how effective are remote internships in collecting news in comparison with reporting one?
Remote internships, as in interning somewhere else from wherever the organization is, I'm guessing so.
Yeah.
Right. Look, like I always feel that it's important to be on the field and interning, because when you're on the field, you understand the work of a journalist better. But since now times are very different and challenging even for us, even for the working journalists. So it's not easy for any organization to send their interns out on the field, to risk their lives or to risk their health. So even for remote internships, I think if there's an offer, if you're getting a chance, take it up. Try to gain whatever you're able to gain from these internships right now. There'll always be a chance to be back on the field. Times will be better eventually. But whatever comes your way right now, I think it's advisable that you take it up, because you never let an opportunity go, is what I believe. So take a remote internship, try and do it from your end, whichever way you are able to. You'll always have mentors from the organization to guide you irrespective of anything. So ask them, always have doubts, keep asking them. They'll be happy to help. I can say that. So I think probably right now remote internships should work for students, and if you have an opportunity, just go for it.
Okay. So Shruti is asking, what are your views on being a freelance journalist and writing for a platform regularly?
Okay, freelance journalism has its own perks, and freelance journalism also has its own drawbacks. There are a lot of freelance journalists who talk about, what are the issues faced and not. But if you don't want to be bound, if you don't want to be bound to a place, you don't want to be bound to a beat, you want to explore, you want to do it on your own the way you want it to, freelance journalism is good. And I think in the coming times, there'll be a time when there will be more freelance journalists. We have a lot of freelance journalists even at this point in time, and that is going to take it ahead, because there are a lot of digital platforms. There are going to be a lot of emerging new digital platforms. They'll be looking for freelance journalists. They'll be looking for journalists who are scattered across the country,
Right.
bringing out stories that probably no mainstream journalist is bringing out, that probably not other media organizations are bringing out. So if you have that in you, if you can go out and look for those stories which are very different from what is out there in the public domain right now, probably it shouldn't be that difficult. But yes, freelance journalism is a little challenging initially, but once you have set foot and once you are kind of settled, the journey becomes easier. Yes.
Okay. So we have another very interesting question for you, Aishwarya. So Sumita is asking, is IIMC campus LGBT friendly? And what are your comments on Pink News? And he's saying that he's never seen any LGBT journalist on any news channel. What are your comments on it?
Right. I haven't done my course from IIMC, so I cannot actually comment on how friendly or not friendly the campus is, and I wouldn't comment on these are certain decisions which are editorial and taken by the bosses. I always feel that there should be there should be a fair representation of everybody everywhere, and probably there are LGBTQIA community people who are out there, but maybe we do not follow them, or maybe we do not know them. Like, how many journalists do we know by names, by faces?
Right.
How many of them do we know? Even I don't know a lot of them, to be very honest. So probably there is a lot to explore, and a good community representation from our end, like, as journalists, would also help to bring out a lot of news from this community, which I think will be a very much added advantage, and which will help a lot. Yes.
Okay. So Aishwarya, that's, I guess it was a very, very insightful informational session. Thank you for coming here. Thank you for giving us your valuable 1 hour. And I'm so glad that your phone did not ring.
Yes.
And guys, before you all leave, I have shared the feedback form link in this chat box. Do tell us how the session was for you, so that we can continue organizing these amazing sessions for you guys. And thanks a lot, Aishwarya, for joining us tonight. It was a pleasure to have you over, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did.
Sure. You can, the students can also approach if they need any further assistance, even after this. You can feel free to approach with any queries or any help. I'll be happy to help.
Yeah, so maybe drop your email ID or LinkedIn ID so that they can connect with you.
Yes. Should I just drop it in the chat box?
In the chat box.
Yeah.
So thanks a lot, Aishwarya, for coming us and joining us tonight. And guys, do make sure that you fill the feedback form before going. And yeah, so here is the email ID. I'm gonna share it again. So her email ID is in the chat box. You can copy it from there. Harshita, you should be able to see the chat box now. Great. So thanks a lot, Aishwarya, for coming us. I'm doing this for third time, but yeah, it was
Thank you so much.
Amazing session, and I hope the mentees loved it too. So
I hope all the students, the queries were clear, and of course, I'm just around. You can approach anywhere, and yeah, good luck for your future, all you guys.
Thank you, and a big thanks to the QFIS team for arranging such an amazing webinar for all of us. And so I guess that's it from our side. Thank you, Aishwarya, again.
Thank you.
And thanks a lot to all the mentees for joining us, for staying with us for a complete hour. And I hope it was enjoyable. See you in the next session. Good night. Bye-bye.